lot of them were commuters. And Larry, along with John Bartholomew and a number of other Theta Gammas, decided that Phi Sig was going to be the national fraternity they wanted to align themselves with. And in the first 10 years of their organization, once they started, we had 250-some members. So the first decade was a tremendously successful decade. Larry was a photographic science grad. When he left RIT, he started a corporation called Photographic Science Corporation in Webster. What a lot of people don't realize is they were pioneers in developing the UPC code systems and the equipment that allowed you to monitor UPC codes for inventory purposes. I mean, we take those things for granted today. They had to start somewhere, and it was Larry's corporation that really drove those efforts. It became a very large corporation headquartered in Webster. It was hundreds of millions of dollars. Larry eventually sold his position, and he went on to work with High Tech Corporation of Rochester, where he was a director, and then was involved in bringing venture capital to Rochester to help small companies go through the incubation process. So not only did he do a lot of things significantly as a student in reference to our lives, but he also left his mark in the industrial world. I have a note from John Sturge in reference to Larry, and John's number 47, by the way. And I have it here somewhere. Let me just read real quick. I just picked a few sentences from John. John's in Florida, by the way, and would have loved to have been here. A lot of our senior alumni are in Florida, as John Bartholomew told me today.
I still have to work.
Larry's business-like and pleasant interpersonal demeanor put him at the top of any achievement list for pulling resources together and getting the job done. He brought a unique get-the-job-done attitude to every undertaking and remained dedicated to his fraternity affiliation and to his experiences at RIT. I was on the phone with Larry's wife the other day, Joan Albertson, and she's been very touched by our recognition of him. By the way, this was sudden. He was on the third hole of his golf course and he had a massive heart attack, so it was not expected. And she said he was in remarkable condition. He's 75 years old. And not only are we going to recognize Larry today for this year's honoree, but we're going to name the award moving forward for future years, the Larry Albertson Outstanding Alumnus Award. And we have a silver tray that we're going to send down to Joan in Gainesville, Florida. And it's inscribed, gotta get that sound. The reflection here is a little difficult. In memory of our brother Larry Albertson, ritual number 1, Phi Sigma Kappa, Uptet Chapter, RIT, presented by the chapter alumni on March 24th, 2012. This will be sent down to Joan. And we're also dedicating and sending a check to the American Red Cross in Larry's name, which was a charity that the family felt specifically close to. John Bartholomew has agreed to accept the award on behalf of the family, and I'd like to ask
I heard from Joni, I think it's been at least 45 years since that I hadn't heard from her, but she called me and thanked me for doing this. And I know Larry would have been very active in the recolonization. He would have come up from Florida to help. He was that kind of guy. I reminded her with the note during their dating years and my dating years with my first wife, Larry came down with tuberculosis. And at that time in Rochester, we had a place where people went with tuberculosis. You actually were kept separate from the rest of the world. was not to be kept separate. So we used to sneak them out.
Oh my God.
And of course, you know, we didn't worry about it. Are we going to catch this? No. So we're all immortal, I guess. Anyway, we fortunately did not. And, we got over it, came back. The process for Phi Sig, we looked at several facilities. And I'm number 4, I guess, because I was treasurer. It's not the fact that my name starts with a B, because there was some other A's that are behind me. We purchased the first house, and Larry was very, very a great part of that. And the reason being that we had several vets. These guys knew what they were doing, and they were able to get a mortgage. We also had the help of when we went Phi Sig, there was a lawyer in town, a great old guy named Dutcher, and he was a Phi Sig, and so he advised us on how to go about it. He pushed us really hard because we looked at some other ones, but actually, I think what kind of did it was the fact that you guys weren't prejudiced against me. Black people, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was a unanimous decision by all of our fraternity. And you see the pictures of these guys with great brush cuts. Some of you guys might have had brush cuts, but some of you are without hair now. I was going to say, if you want to send me down to Florida, I'll be glad to help.
Personally.
Can we use your private check?
My private check. You know, it's a real pleasure, and I offer myself anything I can do to help you get this thing going. And I thank you for
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.